looking to upgrade from the Canon SX530 HS to a Sony camera. What is a Canon SX530 HS?
Prove yourself to me. Tell me honestly. You could show yourself to me, but you're not ashamed.
What is the deal, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of AMA, and if you are new here, you're not sure how this works, you ask your question in the comment section down below, and we answer it upcoming videos. So today's question from Tiffany Wilson: I want to go from a Canon SX530 HS to Sony Mirrorless. I'm getting more into photography. I have backdrops, lights, etc. Mainly shooting babies, kids, pageants, but I also scenic for myself. For magazines, they want higher PPI requirements. Also, I'm trying to snap a 16-month-year-old or a 16-month-old. Babies, you get what I'm saying. You get what she's saying. Sony camera / lens kit should I go with for a newbie? Which Sony camera? Well, this is interesting. First of all, I had to look up what a Canon SX530 HS was. So it's essentially a bridge camera, and you know, bridge cameras are interesting. The reason I very really recommend them is because even though they pack a really strong punch, but I just don't like the idea that you cannot upgrade the lens. And I get it, in these cameras, they often go from something super wide, like 16, to something super narrow, like 135, or sometimes even 210 or more, some of them 300. But my problem here is, it's not the focal length, it's the quality of the image. And you know, when you buy a kit lens, sure, in comparison to a bridge camera, your focal length, your reach is almost divided by 2. It's nowhere close to the length you get with a bridge camera. If you feel the need, like you're not feeling fulfilled with your camera, and I spoke about this a lot on this channel, it's not your camera. Don't be in a hurry to change your camera. Go out and get a new lens. Even if you got a kit lens that was a 24-80 and you felt like you've been shooting and you've reached the ceiling with that lens and you're not satisfied with the quality of work, you can go out and get the pro version of that lens. The same 24-70 focal range, and it'll blow your mind. Not only will you get something like better optics, sharper images, you're probably gonna get like instead of a variable aperture, you'll get that 2.8 constant. And whereas on the kit lens, you could only go down to 3.5. Like, these are things about why I feel it's important to buy the interchangeable option out the gate. If we were to put that or apply that scenario to a bridge camera, you're kind of stuck. You can't change the lens. You have to just change the camera. Now, although I don't want to take anything away from bridge cameras, I think they're dope. Coming from Canon, there's a pretty healthy direction you could go here. I didn't quite see if this was an APS-C sensor or if this was, I know it wasn't full frame. I'm gonna guess this was an APS-C sensor because I think Canon only does 2, right? APS-C and full frame. So you could transition into the A6000 line, and what I would recommend for someone coming from a Canon world into a mirrorless is something the A6500. And I know it's had its issues with video and overheating, which you didn't mention here, but I think they solved a lot of it, and that was probably one of the only downsides to that camera. So that's it. I mean, I have a review on the channel where I just go ape shit with this camera and the Zeiss lens for a while. I really like the A6500, and it can be a little pricey. I mean, at $1,500, you could pretty much, I would say, buy a kit that gets you the 6500 kit lens, and then look for You could even look for that new Sony 85 millimeter. I think that'll work on the 6500. I've seen people do it. It's $600 lens, and it's a great focal length for portraits and your baby photography and whatnot. Or you can just get that E-mount 50 1.8, and that's a super cheap lens. You can probably get that for $250. So, but yeah, I would recommend the A6500. It's got a lot of I would say innovations or just modern day stuff that you won't find if you were to spend that money over at Canon. For me, it's the EVF. I love the EVF. For me, it's the ability to sort of see my exposure live in both the EVF on in the back and on the back of the screen. It's the optical image stabilization that the EVF, I'm sorry, that the sensor has in-body image stabilization. Sorry, I just finished a video over on the main channel talking about a cell phone camera, so optical came to mind. But pretty much in the A6500, and this was the first in the A6000 series, there's 5-axis stabilization. So the sensor sort of moves to, it counteracts your movement, right? It does a lot of this. So if you're moving up, it's moving down. So you get a steady shot. And what that does for you is in really low light scenarios, you can get about a stop or a stop and a half or 2 stops, depending on how steady you can hold it. You can get more light, and that's a really big deal. You can leave that shutter open for just a little bit longer. So that I think alone is worth it. Plus, there's a lot of like dope stuff that you can do, which in all fairness, some of the new Canons let you do transfer images straight from the camera over to your phone with Wi-Fi and all of that stuff. But yeah, check out the A6500. Get the kit lens. The kit lens is good. It'll suffice for now. And then definitely get your hands on that 50 1.8. Also, for that same $1,500 price point, you're looking into, you can get into full frame, which is that's my workhorse over there. Oh, I can just grab it for you. This is my Sony A7 Mark II. It's been a while since this guy's been on camera, but I love this thing. You can get an A7 Mark II with the kit lens for about $1,200 to $1,300. And the difference here is over an A6500, it's a bigger body, of course, but it's full frame. So, you know, your image quality is through the roof. You got the same in-body image stabilization. It's a pro body. It feels much more sturdy, feels much more like work. It does not have the 4K video capabilities of the A6500. So if you think 4K is going to be important to you, then stay away from the A7, the A7 Mark II. But I mean, if you're going fully at just photography, then consider the A7 Mark II as well. However, when you go full frame, the FE mount lenses, because you go full frame, you got to put good lenses in front of that sensor. The full frame lenses are substantially more expensive, so that can up your budget, and it depends on your budget as well. But I would look at those two options, the A6500 and the Sony A7 Mark II, and I think that's a pretty common comparison these days because of the price ranges of these cameras. I think I did a video a while back. Search the channel. There's a video a while back comparing those two much more in depth as well. But yeah, it's interesting to see a bridge shooter, and you know what? Leave a comment, because I want to know why you're looking to upgrade from the bridge camera, and just for my own knowledge, because I often tell people when they ask, yo, I'm looking to upgrade from this to that, I always push back. I say, why? You know, tell me how you hit the ceiling in your photography. And one of my first recommendations is just go out and get a better lens, get a different focal lens, or just upgrade to better quality, and you'd be shocked and amazed at how much better your work becomes with better glass. But in this case, with that bridge camera, you can't do that. Is that why you're upgrading? I don't know. hit the comment below. Everyone else, you guys are really great in lending a hand to the original poster. And you got some really good comments. I love that about you guys. So drop down in the comments. Hit us with your suggestions as well. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. We got plenty more coming. My name is Ramon. I'm out of here. Peace. Well, I guess. And the reason we started Lifestyles Defined is because if we weren't on camera arguing about these things, the technologies, the phones, the iPhones, the Androids, the cameras, the games, we'd be on the phone arguing about it. We'd be in each other's houses arguing about it. So why not just put it in front of a camera for everyone to enjoy it the way we do? That's what Lifestyles Defined is all about. We just